Channel, and the latest Manchester United news is that Urgate has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. Plenty to discuss in today's video, Red, so we want to know your opinion, so get involved. Now, I think gone are the days of slow-moving FC. It looks like getting business done FC is the way we're going forward now. Yeah,
it's interesting, these reports about Urgate. If you go back a few weeks ago, stories out there about PSG and Man United having conversations, and the reports didn't specify who was being talked about. A lot of people had a conjecture that it was all about Rashford. Well, they're wrong, because it looks as though this conversation and talking to Urgate has been going on for quite a while, which is good. And like you say, FC...
Yeah, no, well, slow-moving FC, that's...
Slow-moving FC, it don't look it that way.
No, definitely no slow-moving FC at the moment, and it's really positive to see. Obviously, a fee is yet to be agreed with PSG. It looks to me as though if they do get João Neves over the line, PSG, they're then looking at, you know, releasing Urgate to Manchester United. I will think we will see that green light.
Well, I suspect a transfer fee has been agreed. It's just about how PSG do their business, and that is the stumbling block going forward. They're looking at João Neves. That is a massive fee, and if I look at Benfica, I think they will try and extract as much as possible. So that might go on for a while. They're also looking at Osimhen, PSG, so that might go on for a while. So they want cash in if they're going to be spending lots of money, and it looks as though they're going to be spending lots of money. So I do really think that the fee has been agreed, and it's just a matter of Manchester United fans and Manchester United waiting until they do their business before we see the green light and over he comes to United. But it might take a while, this. Very tricky negotiations PSG are doing. But as I go back to the beginning there, the conversations with United have been going on for a while. He wants to come to United by all reports. He's agreed his fee with Man United about his personal terms. So everything is there, ready to go. And I am over the moon.
Yeah, let us know what you think about Urgate. I'm sure there's a lot of you who would have watched him in the Copa America, so you've got a rough idea of what sort of player Manchester United could be getting. So let us know in the chat. Richie in the chat says, Urgate, there's lots of Copa footage of him. Beast of a defender, but however, distribution is poor. A loan option to buy seems to be what would be the best option going forward. Now, you know, there's a lot of data-driven analytics out there, which I'm sure Manchester United have been using. You know, eye test. You know, if you've used your eye test, it sounds like you actually have done. You know, that's your opinion, and yeah, let us know your opinions in the chat.
Well, I think if you can get so much opinion from clips and that, but at the end of the day, United want him, and they see him as a replacement and a player going forward, and a couple of players will be on the move. So they want someone in, because they're getting people out, and that's what we want to see. We want to see movement in this transfer market, and we want to see people what just aren't up to scratch at Man United. This kid clearly seems to fit the bill. I've seen a couple of clips from him. As I said the other day, I'm holding my counsel on really going in on him. At the end of the day, fingers crossed, he is the right man for Man United. Talking about a loan move and all that, I think this will be a deal. And I think that they've already sorted out the fee. So I don't think anything to do with the loan move or anything like that. I think this is a pure out-and-out transfer coming to Man United and securing a 4-5-year contract.
Yeah, let's wait and see on that, on what the actual terms would be and the agreement between Manchester United and PSG. There is rumours out there that it could be a loan move with an obligation to buy at the end of the season, like we had with Amrabat, which keeps me on to goes on to my next question. Is that over now for Amrabat? Manchester United bringing him back in?
I'm not too sure. I think it could go both ways, to be honest. The way United are doing deals, they're not really paying the money up front. They're doing it in stages, and I think they're just looking at Amrabat and thinking, let's just see how this transfer market goes. And at the end of the day, Fiorentina, where Amrabat is, he went back a month ago. I think they might just turn around and say, look, take 8, take 10 million, and that's it. And I think that's what they're doing. They're playing it very, very clever in the transfer market, and they're doing stage payments, and they're saving money. That's what this is all about, saving money, getting good players, young players in, and hoping that they take Manchester United forward. It's a good base to start, because that's where we're at here. We're starting. This is the first transfer under Ineos, under Sir Jim Ratcliffe's regime. So at the end of the day, he's getting the right people in at the right age, and hopefully it all works. But patience is the key here.
Yeah, Keith in the chat says, Ugarte's a big, strong lad who will love watching, a proper number 6 with a good right foot who will bust opponents with his tackling. And that's what we need in there, a tough tackler, but who can cover the ground. As we see with Casemiro last season, was looking very leggy, slow into the tackle, and we need an upgrade on that going into the season.
I think what we're missing in midfield, I mean, I have, and many people out there have said the midfield is too wide apart and that it's not got a leader, it's not got someone who's fighting in there. Yes, Bruno, but I want him right up there and then let someone do the dog work in the middle. And this kid puts it about, and that's what you seem to want. You want someone who's tough. We've not really had that. Someone who's fearless. And this kid, by all accounts and what I've seen little bits of him, he is tough. And I like that in a player. And I think that's what's missing in Man United's midfield. So let's hope we get him. And whichever way we get him, we'll see what happens. But let's get him. Yeah. That's what we want. But
I think if Erik ten Hag and the actual board want him, they will go out and get him. Like I said earlier on, no more slow-moving FC. This is getting business done FC. And if they want him, I think it's highly likely we will see Ugarte in a Man United shirt.
Yeah, I think these, like I said before, these conversations have been going on for a while. So I do really think we're going to get him. And if we get 3 in a week, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Right down the spine of the team. Centre forward, in the midfield, and a centre half. Not a bad start, this, to be honest.
Yeah, Paul in the chat says, there's plenty of internet waffle out there. Erik ten Hag and Ineos have done their homework on the players. Times are gone when we get stitched up. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they've done their own work on it, and they've been in contact, and they've earmarked him, and that's the player they're going for. And it just seems that in this transfer market, they've had options, not just one player, not just 2, 3. If you look at the centre halves, they've had them. They've been doing the talking, and then they've gone for the best, what's available, and what they see to fit in Man United. And this player seems to fit in Man United. They've done their own work, and you can't ask for more than that. When you go back and you look at the nonsense and the messing about and the absolute diabolical decisions what have been made at Manchester United, this is just a breath of fresh air. Let's hope it works, and if it doesn't work, we move on.
The way they've done business, especially around the centre-half position, you know, with speaking with Yoro, obviously that deal's done now. That's fantastic news. De Ligt and Braithwaite. Do you expect United to also be in conversations with other midfield players apart from Ugarte?
I think they'll have done exactly the same what they did with the centre-halves. They've earmarked 2, 3 players for the centre-half. I think they'll do that with the midfield player, but they've gone for Ugarte. Now, at the end of the day, they could have been looking at 2, 3, maybe even 4 players. But this is the one they've chosen, and they've been in contact with PSG for long. What I like about it all, and what we've not seen as Man United fans, is this club being run in a professional fashion, right? That is good going forward. I think the way they've done the deals, we know we're short of money. They've done it. They've had it worked out for a long time, and they've just been able to go in there and get the signatures. And that's great as far as that. I've been happy this week, really happy.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been getting a good sleep as well at night time.
I have. Very good sleeps.
That's what we need on this channel. Lots of positivity in the chat. It's absolutely great to see. We're positive as well, so keep getting your comments in. Paul in the chat says, everyone wants to come to United now. Shows we're going in the right direction now, lads. Totally agree, mate. Yeah,
we're going in the right direction. I mean, when you talk about PSG and we're getting Ugarte, right, and they're waiting for João Neves, a lot of United fans I've seen for quite a while now going, why aren't we going for him? Why aren't we going for him? Or why aren't we going for this? Well, you know, at the end of the day, right, that is king. And I don't think we've got the money to go out there and pay that for Neves. And I don't think we had it for Osimhen. PSG clearly have it, and they've got a plan in stall. We're not back up there yet. But hopefully, in the near future, we are back up there and we'll be able to compete for these top players. We're bringing in youth for the future, and hopefully these players develop. So all the signs are good going forward.
There was also updates on Manuel Urgate surrounding Casemiro and Scott McTominay, and Fabrizio saying that one of them will likely leave this summer.
Yeah.
Now, your thoughts on that?
Well, what it is, this debate about who should leave, which midfield players should go, I think every midfield player, it really is confusing of who really is the main point to go. I mean, me personally, I've said it before, Casemiro is my choice between Casemiro and McTominay. But some people will want Casemiro. Some people will want both. Yeah. Some people will want McTominay. To me, I like McTominay, so if there's a choice, and I have said it before, if there's a choice between Casemiro and McTominay, for me, I think going forward, McTominay would bring more to the midfield. I think he plays a very good defensive role when he's asked to do that in the game. And I think also going forward, he brings right through there and he gets the goals. For me, sorry, McTominay, I think, especially going off last season, I think he's got something still to give at Manchester United in the last 20 minutes of games. I'm not saying starting because we need upgrades on Scott McTominay like Urgate in this Manchester United starting 11, but I think it gives you something different for the last 20 minutes in games, like a plan B. He's got the height as well. That's something that does worry me a little bit if we're losing height in this team at set pieces. Varane, Scott McTominay, the best at defending set pieces, and for me, I think it'd be great to just still have on the bench just to give you something different. Whereas Casemiro, for me, in that midfield area, we've seen, the tackles that he's been making, looking sluggish at times. So, Scott. I look at Casemiro, and I'm speaking from his corner, backing him and all that. You have to look at him. I mean, going away after the cup final, but he's come back, he looks a lot leaner. He looks as though he's lost a lot of weight.
Good shout.
He could surprise us all that he's come back fit. Because he looks fit.
Yeah, no,
right?
I get that.
So he might just turn it on here and he might just be staying. He might be fighting for his place, but he looks leaner. He looks as though he's done a lot of gym work, a lot of exercising, a lot of running, because he has lost a lot of weight. So that might be good going forward, and we might see a different Casemiro than what we think we're getting this year from him. Like poor performances, poor tackles, not fast enough. That might all change. He might have changed his regime. You do see players take a different regime, health-wise and everything else like that in the summer, training. And he might have just got his head down and thought, no, I want to play for Manchester United. So if he starts turning it on and we see a different Casemiro, especially in pre-season, then I, for one, will just turn around and say, well done, Casemiro. You deserve to stay here. You've put the work in. So at the end of the day, I've seen McTominay do exactly the same the other year, and I've seen many other players do it. So Casemiro might come back leaner and hungrier. So at the end of the day, let's just wait and see over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, and see what happens.
A little bit surprised myself. I don't know about you out there that it's Casemiro and Scott McTominay's name being mentioned on being moved out of United, but there's no mention of Christian Eriksen.
No.
Now, for me, I don't think he's got a future here at Manchester United. Look, a quality player, playing in a certain league, a lower tempo, he can create things and make an impact. But here in the Premier League now, you've seen the intensity and the games passing by now, especially in that midfield area. Yeah,
it is confusing, well, puzzling about Eriksen. I looked at him last year, too slow, can't run back, can't chase. His marking was off, and that's not Eriksen in a normal game, but he seems to have got bad habits. And he can't do the pace, clearly can't do the pace. That's not me having a go at him. He's just not that type of player. And the way United were playing, he got caught out. So for me, it is puzzling why he's not being mentioned. I clearly thought at the end of last season, he actually would be the first one to exit the door here. But he just doesn't seem to be in any stories anywhere. I think he's just getting his head down, carrying on. I don't know what it is. I don't rate him No, it's not that I don't rate him. I just don't think he's now good enough for where Man United want to be. I think the football, the pace has passed him by. I think, as far as I'm concerned, his time's up. But don't be surprised if he does get a move. To me, he's surplus to requirements. So just let me know what you think out there.
Some people might say with Scott McTominay, if they sell him, the full transfer fee is pure profit.
Yeah, it looks like with Scott McTominay, to be honest with you.
So from a financial point of view, business sense.
Yeah, it looks good if you want Scott McTominay out, because it seems as though there's now a few teams looking at him, and that the price, 20, 30 million pound, isn't going to be the fee. It looks as though it's going to be 40 million. If Scott McTominay goes, whether the 40 million pounds paid up front, I very much doubt it. I think it might be 25 million and then add-ons and that up to 40 million over a period of time. But it clearly seems by the reports out there that the fee for Scott McTominay will be 40 million.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are surprised at that.
Yeah, Keith in the chat said Spurs would be a great move for Scott, and I have seen them rumours myself, and if it is true, I think that would be a great move for Scott McTominay.
Yeah, I do. I think Spurs would be a good move for him. I also like the stories about West Ham. I think West Ham would be a good move for him. The same with Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka especially would fit him perfectly at West Ham.
In the style that they play.
The style they play. Also, in front of him is Bowen. And I think that partnership and the way Bowen could just have the freedom, knowing that if Wan-Bissaka's there, one-on-one tackles, he doesn't need anyone's help. So for me, if you're looking at players going, Wan-Bissaka at West Ham would be good. McTominay go to West Ham would be good. Where Casemiro would go,
I think with McTominay,
I don't know.
Yeah, with you saying it'd be good for McTominay to go to certain clubs, like you say, it's what the transfer fee would be for me, because it's then going to take you a few quid to then go out and then replace Scott McTominay, unless Manchester United inside there can see a youngster coming through who they might blood into the team next season. I'm not too sure, but you're going to have to pay a few quid to replace Scott, surely. 40 million.
Maybe. But what I have to do, right, is not worry about replacing players if we get rid of him, if a decent bid comes in and that. Because I do believe Manchester United are doing their own work. Everything tells you they've been doing their own work. There's players out there, what they've identified. And I think conversations haven't come out, stories haven't come out, shall I say, about other players being looked at. I think they've done excellent work as it is now. And I do not think that they would leave themselves short by suddenly someone coming in for a player in any position. In any position.
Just got to look at it these days. It is very much a squad game, especially with the amount of games they play each season as well, and the intensity. So a squad is, of at least 14 or 15 players will be used regular.
Yeah, but talking about they will be used regularly, that's without a doubt. But if you go back a couple of months ago with what Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos came out with, right, and all the stories there, that all the players, virtually all the players, any offers comes in, okay, then they'll look at it. So I do think if you look at it the other way round, they will also be out there scouting players, looking at players to say, hey, is this player, if we bring him in, is he better than what we've got? So I think they've already done the business, looking at players in every position, and that includes Bruno. That includes Bruno's position. And there was talk recently about Bruno contract being, he wants a new contract up in and all that. And I think that might get shelved, to be honest with you. So I think United have done the business. They've made a statement a few months ago. Everybody, right, any bids come in will be considered. So at the end of the day, when they come out with statements like that, then they've got to go look at other people to be prepared. And I think they're prepared.
Yeah, just like everyone, well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today.
Yes.
Loads of different opinions of what's been discussed. Keep the conversation going in the comments below, because we'd love to see and interact with you. We'll be back later on this afternoon, so
Yes.
get that notification bell on, because we will be live roughly around 2, 3 p.m. You enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.